Yes, that's right. The jolly interesting making of Momo Tempo's splendid new single, Part 1. So, Part 1 concerns itself with general setting up of tune, mucking about with sounds, trying out some of the riffs, looking for first ideas and shoving it in to feed the whole beast, which is fun and can be quite undisciplined. So, I think what I'll show you first is the little bass riff around which it's all based. The point is that when you hear this riff, you might think, it's, nothing to stop the heart and make the blood pump faster. I realise that, but there are an awful lot of riffs coming on this album that I hope will grab you by the politely by the unmentionables right from the start. This, however, is a bit of a subtle start that builds and builds, and I trust that you will eventually see, as I do, exactly why it's a compelling little blighter. So, first thing you need to know, probably, the first thing, don't worry, I won't do that too often, the first thing you probably need to know is the principle of how I'm approaching this cup of coffee. No, this album. And that is, it is meant to be a very deliberate fusion of splendid electronic, artificial sounding, whizzy, screechy noises and some classic instrumentation. Now, that doesn't sound desperately original because everything these days is some sort of fusion between electronic and natural instruments. But I want this to be conspicuous, yes, obvious. Some lovely old-fashioned influences with some dirty, great big computery noises. So, first up is this very subtle little riff that begins the whole thing. Now, here's our keyboard. Let's see if we've got this set up to the right thing. No, that's not there. That's welcome to Logic Pro number 9, made by the good people of Apple, and we are looking for a little bass thingy doodah. There you are. Right. Okay. Now, of course, it's turned down there, isn't it? There we are. Okay. So the bass riff is just this, something like this. And that's how the whole thing's built. See, it's kind of fun, but nothing special. However, if we take a little look at how it starts, this, my friends, is the very beginning of how the tune sounds. So, let's take it back to the beginning, and at the moment it starts like this. Now, as you can hear, that is an upright bass, except it's not a real one, obviously. It's a sample. But that's the point, that we're going to have a lot. We're going to have a lot of real instruments on this, and I'll be showing you some of the sessions. So I need to find an upright bassist, and I have a name and a number of a jolly talented chap, which we'll come back to. So here we go, and here's some more beats. Breaks down. I've got to stop it there, tease you, and just go through a couple of the sounds here. So, we've got on the screen, what have we got here? The typical kind of sounds in this arrangement are, what's that? That's your sample of your doodah, your upright bass. Yeah, there are some just wonderful, silly noises. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute, and I think you're going to like it. So, what else have we got here? We have, oh yes, funk organ. Funk organ, ladies and gentlemen. And we have bass, drums. They've got to be drums, right? It's a dance tune, right? Rhodesy type things, and glass celeste. This is rather nice, isn't it? yes, you'll see where that comes in a minute, playing the main melody, and here's a jolly nice sound I made, which also plays the main melody, which is jolly splendid, isn't it? And our old friend the bass, and some other splendid noises going on there as well, like that. So, if I back up just a little bit and play you where this came from, you'll see from a sort of skiffly drum thing and the upright bass, all sounding a little bit sort of electro-swing. No bad thing, electro-swing. It then will do something rather fun. And this is the main melody. And then the beats kick in. And that's probably going to be horns. So we have a horn section sample. I'm going to write horn parts. So that'll be a horn session getting the guys in here. We have upright bass session to do. Yes, and then here comes this bit. Huh! It's rather good fun, isn't it? So, yes. That's the outline of this tune as it starts. But of course, as well as all the kind of the uprighty, bassy things and the brass and whatever, we need to mash it up much more. So you get a kind of nice electronic breakdown here. That. But also, what I want to do is mash things up rather more. So if we stop it here a minute and solo this little tune here, which is what's that called? Whatever that is, anyway. And then press play on that. It's quite a pleasing noise. But then we'll check out this ring modulation here. Muck about with it like this. Yeah, synth players spend hours mucking around, just twiddling knobs, virtually or literally. So, yes, and what we shall do then is sample that and flatten it and chop it up, and for reasons that will become clear, for editorial reasons I shall reveal later on, we need to get some conspicuous little computer noises in there, the sort that you might be familiar with in your everyday life. So yes, that is the very first glimpse of the Momo Tempo single, but don't worry that I'm blowing all the theatre, because I'm not going to reveal any of the lyrics, and there are going to be plenty of other things you won't hear before the night from the whole album, so I just thought you might like a sneaky peek. Part 2, coming up next week, will involve the conga sessions. We're going to get real congas in here in the studio, and yes, so lots of jolly, splendid fun still to come, and there we are, part 1 done.